Hey guys, it's Tommy CM. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another episode of Heartland Towers. Obviously, if you do want to keep up with any future episodes of this park, then do leave a like and a subscribe. And like I say, there's plenty more to come from this park. The idea for this episode is I just wanted to kind of have a basic bit of a layout for the pathing for the rest of the park. So I had a bit of an idea on the shape of the park that it was going to take, just so I can kind of build around it. Because I always find that if you just build on an empty space and then try and work paths around it, it doesn't always work out right, and you have to end up then doing like terrain work afterwards, and it just kind of doesn't fit well. So yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to do at the start. Moving on, as what you can see on the screen now, I have opted for a Boomerang coaster. I am a big fan of Boomerang coasters, and in my sort of original, sort of local park really, American Adventure in the UK, there was a Boomerang coaster called the Missile, which was its main attraction. So Boomerang coasters are very very close to my heart. So I decided that this would be the perfect time to put one in. Having one sort of in the this is going to be sort of like the central area of the park, so I just thought it'd kind of stand out really nicely. The sort of theme I decided to go for was a kind of metallic theme, but not in the sense of like a modern metallic theme. I wanted to go for sort of like a rusty sort of old industrial sort of style. So instead of using the wall pieces to build the station building, I opted to use the scaffolding pieces. I wanted to see how this turned out, and in the end, I am actually really pleased with how this does look, and I think it does work really well for the idea, and especially for the name of the ride, which you'll see later on. As I say, Boomerang coasters, there's not a lot to them. I wouldn't, if you're playing Planet Coaster, I wouldn't get too hung up about the stats on them, because they take the stats from going both forwards and backwards, so the speeds can vary, so the stats will. But also on this coaster as well, as you can see here, I'm just adding elements of realism. So I was just kind of putting these scaffolding pipes where the track went over the path. I like the idea of the path going underneath the coaster, but not obviously to an unrealistic extent. So as you'll see as the construction carries on, the realism does come out on the build. So yeah, for the roof on top of the scaffolding, I just went for this corrugated iron roof. I just thought that as a bit of a metal shed. Essentially, that's what the station is. But that was the purpose of the building. It didn't need to be overcomplicated. It didn't need to be too sort of hectic or crazy. So that was what I was going for. The other rides that I've got in here at the minute, obviously just next to this ride, we've got the wind turbines and the top spin human turbine in there. We have got two other coasters. We've got the floorless coaster, Pulse, and we have the bird coaster, Flight of the Falcon. So I just thought this Boomerang coaster kind of added a bit of a different touch really to what was already in the park. So as you can see here, I'm just kind of putting on a roof, putting on a gable end wall on, to join onto the roof, and then just where the train goes underneath, I didn't want to have loose bits of scaffolding there, so I was kind of trying to look for different pieces to what I could fit in. So in the end, I just searched for beams, and although this is wooden and the rest of it is metal, once I've changed the colour of this wooden beam, it actually doesn't stand out as wood, which you'll see just here. There, you wouldn't be able to tell from there that was wood and the rest was metal. So yeah, really happy with how that looks, and it just kind of finishes the edge of that scaffolding off nicely, so it's not just like hanging loose with the train flying underneath it. In terms of the queue line, nothing too fancy. I realised the ground here was a little bit uneven, so I kind of went round as best as I could, and I just wanted to. There's no sort of pattern or any sort of design with it. I just kind of went for a random path, and then I'll kind of theme it afterwards. And then the exit path, I just wanted a nice smooth path straight from the exit straight back down to the main path. It doesn't need to be kind of going all around the houses. Obviously we're sticking with a sort of industrial old theme, so that's why I'm just changing the colours to sort of like blacks and dark greys and with a bit of white in there, and that was the sort of idea I was going for here. And then I just needed to adjust these little pieces here, because as you can see the wall pieces are intersecting with the track. Yeah, opted for these little pieces here, and then if I I just have to do that just to make it realistic. The train would obviously run with the walls there, but it's it just makes it look nicer and finishes it off well. And then obviously just had to do the same here on the other side, just to round it off nicely. The idea in terms of the rest of the theming for this ride, it's just going to be trees around it. The whole park really is more of a scenery kind of park as opposed to heavy on theming. I appreciate I've got the human turbine there, which is heavily themed, but just generally I just want a lot of trees around this park, and just to make it as natural looking as possible. And then now that I've got my coaster layout, I kind of alter the terrain that little bit more. So I'm putting a few more hills and change the terrain colour just ever so slightly. So here, this is where I'm starting to fence off the ride from the paths, just to go for that bit of realism. Really, I decided to use I love the chain link fence. The chain link fence is definitely one of the best scenery pieces in the game. It makes everything look a lot more natural. And yeah, obviously you wouldn't have guests being able to just walk onto the grass underneath the coaster in a real park. So here I was just putting a staircase in just to go onto the catwalk that is on the Boomerang coaster. I thought this just kind of made things look that little bit more real, that there was access points to get there, because otherwise they're just kind of floating in midair. So yeah, I just thought a little staircase there did the trick. Now here's the name of the coaster. It's going to be called Rusty. I just thought the name Rusty kind of fitted in really well with the idea I was going for. And then obviously I just had to change the lights slightly. It's a little bit dark at the moment, but there will be a little bit of extra lighting going in. So and then I just had to change the name of the coaster itself, so that the writing on the side of the train comes up and says Rusty on it. I was debating what to do with the lighting at this point, and to be fair, I quite like to show you me kind of running through the different menu options, because this is how we all build, and it's nothing's perfect. No one's jumping to the correct piece straight away. So yeah, I was kind of flicking through here looking for things I could put down here for a bit of realism. Just putting some cones down there, one on its side, just to add that little bit of the extra touch that a real park would have, really. Not everything is fully themed and looking perfect in real parks, so it won't be in this one. And then just on the edge in here between the path and the fence, I just wanted to kind of spray some concrete just to kind of try and hide that green patch a little bit. And then for this little area here, obviously just wanted to cover that in concrete itself. And I think that looks really nice, to be fair. Now along the side of here, on a normal coaster, obviously we would have a transfer track where spare trains are kept. So I decided I needed to put one in this park as well, particularly for this ride as well. I've not done one for the other rides in this park. The bird coaster would be a little bit trickier to do. Pulse I could probably have fitted one on, but yeah, I decided to stick with doing a transfer track here. Realised that annoyingly this type of coaster you have to build up the back first, and then build a station and then go forwards. It won't let you, so I had to kind of tweak that around here, which you can just see me doing. But now I've got my straight pieces, so I was just kind of getting the length right just to match it up with the end of the coaster itself. Now this is after theming the transfer track. I didn't want to show you all of that because it is quite a long process. What I did was I extended the station building, just put some beams underneath there, and then just some wires going on the end here, just to make it look a little bit more authentic, a little bit more real. And yeah, I'm happy with how it looks, really. So obviously, in an ideal world, we'd have a spare train sat on there, so that we could sort of replace the track as and when we need to. But unfortunately, unless you put a station in, you can't put a train on. So yeah, that is the unfortunate thing about transfer tracks in Planet Coaster, but you know, we do what we can. So yeah, that was the transfer track. There's the final bit of queue line before any trees go on, which I'm quite happy about. It's just like a concrete square really, but with the path isn't taking up the whole thing. It's not a full-on cattle pen. So yeah, from here it's a case of putting trees down, and as you can see, a lot of trees have gone down. So yeah, really happy with how this kind of blends in now with the rest of the park. I just need to put the railings on the exit path because I realised that there was nothing there for the guests. So yeah, I think now is the time for a POV on Rusty. So yeah, enjoy. And there we go. Really happy with how that's turned out. I think it looks really nice and fits into the park really well. I love the colours with the sort of the black of the ride and the green of the trees. I think it is a really nice match. So yeah, if you did enjoy that, please leave a like and subscribe if you are new. There's plenty more to come up, and I shall see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.